Then part B will ask you to write it in decimal form, so you have to put it in the calculator to get it. Okay? Now, let's solve it. Let's do some of these. These are type 2. Let me remind you. Let me write it again here. Type 2 exponential. They won't have a common base. You will not be able to find a common base on each side at all. Now, let's read the direction. Look what I said. Solve each exponential, and let me put in parentheses type 2. We write the solution in exact form, that's part A, and then write it in decimal form. Okay? And it wants us to round 3 decimal places. Okay? Now, make sure y'all have your calculator out as I'm doing it also, so you will see how to do it. These 4 problems that I'm going to do, I may skip around, and then I'll come back to do number 6 because I don't have enough room to do number 6. Okay? So I may have enough room, but I know I got a couple of steps to do that. If not, I'll just put it at the bottom. Now, let's do it. Let's look at number 5. We're solving type 2 exponential equations. Okay? That's what we're doing. When I look at my base, this is my base on this side, base on this side. 3 and 5 have nothing in common. So there's not a common base between these two. So I have to take the log of each side. I'm using common log. I like using common log. It's nothing wrong if one of you choose to use natural log. That's fine. You can use ln. I'm just going to use common log. So because I have no common base on each side, I'm going to take the common log of each side. So log 3 raised to the x equals log of 5. Now remember, log of 5 is a number because we can put that in the calculator and evaluate that. We could see what it equals. Okay, so we're just leaving it log of 5 right now. Now I have to apply this rule right here that I just said. We got to apply this rule right here. Power rule. Look, this statement look just like this, right? I got to take this power and write it where it's in the front and multiply to that. So that's what we're about to do. Take power on x, multiply it to the log, common log of 3 equals log of 5. Now we solve for x. Well, if there's multiplication in between this, that means we divide each side by log of 3. This cancel, and we get for part A, because it asks for exact form, x equals log of 5 over log of 3. That's exact form. Leave it like that. Now, we got to put it in the calculator. Part B said put it in the calculator. Figure out what it is. When you type this in the calculator, you all have to have parentheses around these numbers. So you would do log, this is how you would put it in, of 5 divided by log of 3, like that. So let's put it in the calculator. And look what I say, round 3 places. Round 3 places after the decimal. Make sure you are typing it in and you put in the parentheses around those numbers so it can come out correctly. When I type mine in, I get 1.465. So once again, this is exact value or exact form right here. This is decimal form here. My math lab will ask you to do it both ways. And on my test, I'll ask you. Remember, your test is Tuesday. Now, I'm going to skip 6 real quick. I'm going to come back to 6, but I'm going to do 7 and 8 real quick and then come back to 6. Let me go to 7 real quick. Now, look, my base is 0.6 and then 3. There's no common base between them, so I have to take common log of each side. Common log of 0.6 raised to the x equals common log of 3. Now, we have to apply the power rule, which says I take this exponent, put it in the front. That's what the power rule says, okay? So we say x times log of 0.6 equals log of 3. Now, what do we do to get x by itself? Divide by log of 0.6. Divide both sides by the same thing. This cancel. X equals, part A say exact form. So all you're going to tell me is log of 3 over log of 0.6. Now, part B would be, now put it in the calculator. Now remember when I said put it in the calculator, you have to put parentheses around those numbers. So you would log of 3 divided by log of 0.6. That's how you're going to put it in. So let's put it in our calculators. Let's see if we get the same thing. Here I get negative 2.151. Okay. So you have the exact form, you have the decimal form. Okay. Number 8. I'm coming back to 6, you all. I'm coming back to 6. Number 8. Look what we have. We have e raised to the x squared equals 100. This one's a little different. Because how do we get rid of e? What's the inverse of e? I taught y'all that the other day. It's natural log, ln. So to get rid of e, we could do the ln of each side, natural log. So we would have to do ln of this side and ln of this side. Remember, they are inverses of each other. So if they're inverses of each other, ln and e will cancel out. What is left on the left-hand side? You all see that? X squared. Now, how do we solve for x? We have x squared. What's the opposite of square? Square root. So we would have to take the square root of each side. Now remember, when you take a square root of a number, it comes back plus or negative. This cancels that out. So my exact value right now would be x equals plus or minus square root of ln of 100. That would be my exact value. Right? And for you all putting it in my math lab, you will have to break it down to positive square root of ln of 100, and then a negative, comma, negative square root of ln of 100. Now let's put it in the calculator. We know that it'll be x equals, we know it's going to be plus or minus. Make sure you put things in parentheses. So when you hit, remember you have to hit second and square to get square root to come up. Hit ln, you got the ln key. And when you hit that, right, you hit the square root button, then you have to hit ln, and then open this up with parentheses, right? Close it. If your calculator opens up like this, then you have to put another one here. You have to put another parentheses to close it up. Just because everybody's calculator is different. But I don't know how your calculator is working, but mine. If your calculator opens up with a parentheses right here, then you have to close this parentheses too. But if it does not, then you can just do it like this. But you have to see how you calculate it. So now let's plug it in. Make sure you close out the parentheses. And I get x is, I was just telling y'all how to write it in, right? So I get plus or minus 2.146. Now, let's go back to number 6. I want to do these. I knew these were easy. We didn't have to do all the steps that come with it here. So, number 6, okay. Now, let's do number 6. We have 3 and 17 as our base. There is no common base between them. So, we do log of each side. Well, I do log. Log 3, 2x plus 5 over here equals log of 17, right? That's the first thing I do. Now, I still have to apply the power rule. This is my exponent. My exponent now is 2 terms. So I still have to bring that in the front. But I put it in parentheses since it's 2 terms. 2x plus 5 times log of 3 equals log of 17. Now, you all, we have to distribute on the left-hand side. I have to distribute log of 3 to that and to this. So that gives me 2x log 3 plus 5 log 3 equals log of 17. Okay? You have to distribute because you have more than one thing, one term as your exponent. Now, you all, I have to solve this. This is a number by itself, so I got to get rid of this first, okay? And I would get rid of that by subtracting it to each side. So that leaves me with 2x log 3 equals log of 17 minus 5 log 3, right? That's what I get. Now we're trying to get x by itself. So if I'm trying to get x by itself, I got to get rid of this 2, and I got to get rid of log of 3. How do we do that? It's multiplication, right? So we have to divide both sides by 2 log 3. And I divide this side by 2 log 3, right? This cancels, that cancels. You all see I'm left with x equals log of 17 minus 5 log 3 over 2 log 3. Now, that's exact form. That's what they want for exact form. When you all put this in the calculator, you all have to use parentheses. You have to. So, part B would be find a decimal. This is what I would do. On top, I would put the whole expression on top in parentheses. And I would also put the numbers in parentheses. So look how I'm doing it. This is how I'm typing it in my calculator. Parentheses, log 17 minus 5 log, open up the parentheses for 3, close that, and then close the parentheses on top. All of this divided by, put the bottom in parentheses, 2 log, and then when the 3, open up the parentheses for the 3, close it, and then close this parentheses at the bottom. Now, put that in the calculator just like that so we can figure it out. We got log, right? We got to make sure we open it up with parentheses, log 17. Make sure you put 17 in parentheses, minus 5 log. Open up the parentheses to put 3 in, and close the top parentheses out. Now hit divide, open up the bottom parentheses, and then, okay, and for B, this is what I got here for B. Negative 1.211. So this is just showing you how to put it in the calculator. I was showing you how to put it in the calculator right here. And then this is what we got for B. Please make sure to be careful with these parentheses. Okay? I'm finished with this part right here. Part 3 will be solving type 2 logarithm equations. So make sure you write everything down step by step. Your test will be Tuesday. I have already put your review in the in D2L. So, and there's a link to your review. So there's no excuse for nobody to say they don't have their review because y'all will have your test Tuesday.